Hi, everybody. So welcome to Prime Professional, and today's guest is Chanel Lestrade. Chanel, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you're a new real estate agent, so give us a little bit of your history, your background for a lot of the viewers on the show now.
Hi everyone, I'm new to the market. I was a full-time supervisor with a Fortune 500 company, and I decided, hey, this is the time to jump in. And so far it has been a roller coaster. You're going to have so many beautiful, uplifting, positive experiences, and then you're gonna kind of get hit from left field. And I just wanted to share my story so I could tell everyone to hang in there and it'll be worth it.
Awesome, I love that. So yeah, you mentioned a lot of the challenges that first real estate agents like yourself, when they're coming on board, working with their brokerage firm, and really trying to understand what the market is. So I commend you for taking the leap of faith, especially in a market where we know it's changing for a lot of real estate professionals, but also just the industry as a whole, especially for first-time home buyers, right? So
Absolutely.
what are the challenges that you've been seeing since you've made the jump into being a real estate agent?
I would like everyone to know the difficulty that a lot of us new agents face is the age of the internet. So we get a lot of misinformation. So
Yep.
you have a lot of buyers, sellers coming in with false expectations, but you have to understand that every area is different. So our market in South Florida is different what you're going to see in Kentucky or Michigan or even other parts of South Florida. So I would say be an expert in your market.
Great, love that.
Understand that if they're a buyer, that they have the possibility of building equity. That's going to be the big selling point because our prices are increasing so rapidly.
Yeah.
The price of homes are doubling in the matter of 10 years, and that's very, very uncommon.
Correct. So you're definitely seeing the increase in value, right, for a lot of the first-time home buyers. How are you connecting as a new real estate agent with your first-time home buyers?
So I try to definitely be very personal. So in the age of social media, it can seem very impersonal to start these relationships, but often you just want to be that someone that they can trust and be knowledgeable.
Correct.
And have a valid support team. So working with knowledgeable, experienced lenders
Yep.
that you and your client can rely on, those are quintessential to your success. So a bad loan or a bad team, that could definitely be a deal breaker. And we're all about referrals, so we want that
Correct.
return business, and we want our clients to be happy, satisfied at the end of the day.
Great. So you heard that, folks. I love that because I think a lot of real estate agents are challenged with understanding how to connect with their clients. But once they get that client, it's also to make sure that they can hopefully attend to the needs of the client, right? Mm-hmm. And making sure that the client understands the path of home ownership and what it looks like. And I think, to your point, creating the best team of professionals on your team and helping the client understand the players and the stakeholders throughout that home ownership process is definitely key. What would you say has been your success so far?
I think my biggest success is just experience.
Okay.
Being able to see what it's like, what you think it's like, and what it really is probably going to be very different. I
Right.
feel like being able to meet different people,
Yeah.
do different things, being in different situations, and being a different type of problem solver, it definitely develops you in a different way.
Got it.
So just being able to step into a new career and have all these amazing experiences, that's been my biggest success.
I love that. So we talk about your successes, we talk a little bit about your challenges. What would you say is a challenge for the buyers that are coming across and meeting you and that you're engaged with? What would you say would be one of the two of the challenges that they're currently having right now?
Definitely intimidation of the market.
Okay.
It's definitely great when you've bought a home post-COVID or pre-COVID and you got into the market at a good time, but if you're coming into the market now, those prices are very, very scary and very intimidating for buyers and sellers, because where are you going to live after you sell your home?
Correct.
Are you taking a good step forward? Are you taking a bad step back? So, and just understanding that these lawsuits that are going on aren't necessarily people being poor real estate agents or poor
Correct.
lenders. It was just a lack of transparency and understanding that was going on with
Right.
those transactions.
Right. And you're referring to, of course, the recent NAR settlement for $418 million, the National Association of Realtors. So, and I understand that, and that's a great point. So I think really going forward, it's going to be about how we educate buyers, but also how we educate the sellers on understanding in complete transparency who's paying what for what service, but also being a value added real estate agent and professional throughout the process. So I urge a lot of the real estate agents and even loan officers there, connecting and building that rapport with the client is going to be so key, because they're confused about what's happening right now in the market, but they're also confused about what they're hearing through the internet and being misguided. So as professionals, it's really important that we now, going forward and always, add value to helping that customer as well. So I love the points that you're making with that. So what do you think the year is going to look like for you as a new real estate agent? What do you hope to hopefully get out of this year?
This year, I'm expecting the best year of my life.
Great, I love that.
Not just from a revenue standpoint, but just I see the light in the end of the tunnel, and a lot of us are used to instant results.
Correct.
We're instant gratification, but the long haul is what's really going to get you to the life-changing point that you want to see. Obviously, if you entered a new career, it's not because you want to stay in the same place. So I expect a life-changing year. I've been learning, just putting myself out there, educating, and I think that's what a lot of real estate agents, they need to do. I think the biggest takeaway from these lawsuits is that we need to educate ourselves and learn how we can bring value to the table without trying to wear many hats. So when you're trying to present your value, sometimes we try to put our hands in things that don't necessarily belong, and your lender is or your title company is a great partner to have. You don't want to feel like you can't lean on anyone, and you don't want to necessarily steer out of your lane either.
Correct.
Okay, so trying to add value in an area where it's not really your expertise isn't really adding value. So with these lawsuits, I think it definitely encourage agents to be more transparent as well as educate themselves further.
Love that. Great points. You know, you seem like a very seasoned real estate agent. I know. I know you mentioned just really realistically and very recently, getting your license. But I tell you, the information that you're sharing is so key. And so a lot of the new real estate agents that are coming on board, this is a great individual to really connect with as well. And I'm not just saying that, but you know, as a new real estate agent, I think a lot of real estate agents are scared. They get the license, they're celebrating that, but they don't know necessarily what the next steps are, how to attract clients, how to build good partnerships strategically so that they can get the referrals. You know, we can talk about Zillow, we can talk about Redfin, we can talk about all those other sites to be able to hopefully get leads from. But at the end of the day, it's really you building the relationship with the partners that you mentioned, from your title company to your inspector, even to your lender as well. So all great points. So tell me, what is one of the successes that you think that a client, by working with you, will be able to receive as a first-time home buyer? What would be one of the successes?
Peace of mind.
Yeah.
I feel like if you can't walk away from a transaction with peace of mind, are you really going to feel good about it?
Correct. You got it.
It's very, very disturbing to buy a house that you're not excited about. Like, home should feel like home.
Right.
If you purchase a house, it should feel like a win.
Correct. You don't want buyer's remorse, right?
Exactly.
At the end of the day.
And you don't want to be that agent that pushed them into something that they're not genuinely ecstatic about having.
Correct.
Right? And same thing for sellers. sellers, you don't want them to walk away feeling like, oh, was this really worth it?
Right.
Was there really value added in everything I went through? Or like, oh, that was such an exhausting process. Like, I'm tired just thinking about what I just went through.
Right.
You know, you want to provide a peace of mind, and like I said again, as an agent, you don't have to carry that burden.
Correct.
We
Alone,
often
right.
feel like the therapist, the chauffeur. We feel like all of those things, but
Right.
just make sure you stay in your lane and you become an expert in your area.
Correct.
Become a pro at what you're doing at the time.
Good, good. So you talk about being an expert in your space. And you know, there's a lot of real estate agents that want to control every aspect of the transaction, and that may work for some, but also making sure that you have the knowledge in the space that you're looking to hopefully entertain, right? And so even if you don't want to become a loan officer, but you're well versed on what that role is, right? And understanding loan products. You and I have talked about the down payment assistance as a product and a service that we offer as loan officers, but also realizing that, you know, you're not going to be able to do title, right? If you don't educate yourself on what title looks like, or being an inspector. So that's why when we come back to developing your team, how important that is to be able to do that. So I love the comments that you've made about that. Those are great pieces of information that I think a lot of clients can definitely benefit from as well. Goal-wise, what are the goals that you have for this coming year?
I want to sell 3.5. I want to make 3.5.
Okay, you heard it. 3.5.
3.5 in gross revenue.
Okay, in gross revenue.
Sales, yeah.
3.5 million.
3.5
in
million.
Gross revenue.
Yes.
I love that. Okay.
That is my goal.
Awesome. So what are you doing as a new real estate agent? You've set the goal. What are you doing on a daily basis, on a weekly basis to be able to achieve that goal by the end of the year?
I literally live on my laptop. So one thing I always do is post, let everyone know, hey, I'm a real estate agent. Hey, I'm a real estate agent. Hey, I'm a real estate agent. Just nonstop. But I try to provide knowledgeable post with my post. I don't just post and say, hey, I'm a real estate agent. I let them know, hey, this is what's offered to you, a down payment assistance.
Correct.
That is a huge selling point and support system for potential buyers, because a lot of people believe they can't own a home because they don't have the large 20% down payment or 10% down payment, and that's very rare.
Right.
Most people do not pay with that much money down.
Correct. Absolutely.
And if you think about it, if you have 3 months rent sitting in your bank account, how many people could you qualify to buy a home with 3 months worth of rent?
Oh, absolutely. A lot of folks.
Exactly.
And that's a great point as well. And I think for a lot of the first-time home buyers, they hear so much information, as you mentioned, on the internet, but are really confused about what the next step is. And there's a lot of individuals right now that are paying tremendous amount in rent right now, but don't realize that they could qualify for a mortgage, right? And so to your point, that first, last, and security, having that money already kind of set aside to be able to now purchase a home and using that money towards your down payment and your closing costs. But also in addition to that, understanding this is the way you're going to build wealth and wealth accumulation. So it's so important whether you choose to buy now, hopefully you buy now, but if you choose to buy later, it's also okay. But understanding that being a renter, if you're looking at wealth accumulation, it's not the vehicle to hopefully help you build wealth as well. So I like those points. Great.
You're literally paying someone else's mortgage
absolutely.
when you do that. And I would definitely say a lot of people are scared to come and even try to get pre-approved. But even if you think about buying a house in 6 months to a year, see where you're at.
Correct.
Start that baseline, get with your lender, and see where you need to grow from here. It's a lot better experience when you're not rushing, and you have you can, like I said, see the light.
Love that. Love that. So for the viewers and folks, what would be one tip that you'd give a first-time home buyer this year on what they can do to really be prepared for the home ownership process?
I would say take your time.
Take your time.
Take your time. Start with a pre-approval just so you know where you're at. Whether your goal is in a month or 60 days, 90 days, next year, just get a pre-approval so you know where you're at and then gain from there. And there are different opportunities. Ask about down payment assistance. Ask about different finance programs. There are different programs even with the city. We went
Correct.
to a whole seminar and there's almost every city in Broward County offers some type of financial aid to have you buy a home. Affordable housing is definitely out there.
Yes.
So if you're genuinely interested, don't be intimidated by the scary market where you have professionals here that will love to help you. We literally love to help people.
So for the viewers and everyone, tell us about your contact information.
You can find me on Instagram, Chanel, your realtor. My email is chasechanel@kw.com, and you can also check out my website, chasechanel.kw.com.
So thank you so much for being on. We look forward to great successes from you, and take care.
Thank you so much.
No
Thank
worries.
you for having me.
You're welcome.